Atheism is not the knowledge that God doesn't exist.
Whoa, hey, it's Tim Tam Tommathy Brown, that one preacher who loves to talk about things he doesn't understand from his back garden for some reason, and also does the "you should definitely give me all your money" thing from it, which isn't the best since it's quite a nice garden. You should do that tithing shit from like the bottom of a well or something like that. Anyway, he's not even in his garden today. He's like on holiday, I guess. Dude, you need to take a break. You can't do this shit all the time. It'll kill you. I should know, I literally haven't had a holiday since I was 19, and I haven't had a break from my quote-unquote YouTube career since 2020. Oh shit, that probably explains all the night screaming. Should probably do something about that. Anyway, sorry, what did you say?
Atheism is not the knowledge that God doesn't exist.
Whoever said that atheism is the knowledge of God not existing? I don't know any atheists who would say that they know God doesn't exist. I mean, I'm sure that they exist, ironically, but yeah, no, it's generally considered to be the rejection of belief that he does exist, or her, or they, or whatever other thing your deity may or may not be, because there's nothing for you to not do a belief at, so you just don't. Usually for reasons along the lines of people who say he does are not very convincing. Case in point.
But the wish that he doesn't.
Oh, come on. No, it's not, Tom. Tom, listen. Tom. That's not true. That's the opposite of true. I mean, the first bit is just wrong. You don't know how to atheism, but this part on its own is simply incorrect. I have no wish that God doesn't real. I don't want any God to not exist. I just don't buy it. Now you, on the other hand, considering your propensity to make shit up about other people, maybe you should be having a little wish there, since I'm pretty sure your version doesn't like liars. So him not existing would be great for you. But no, gods in general, I just don't care. And if it turns out that gods do the true, well, that'll be interesting to find out. But all this heaven and hell shit that your lot like to throw out is preposterous nonsense. If there is a creator of the universe, it more than likely not only doesn't give a shit about you or me or anyone in particular, it probably doesn't even know you exist. The same way you don't know about the individual life of a bacteria up your asshole. You know, that place where all your opinions come from.
Because atheists want to live in a world where they're not challenged to keep the moral laws of God.
What? No, that's not a reason to do anything. I mean, that literally makes no sense. And that's you basically saying that I am in fact not an atheist. Where, well, f*** you. You don't get to tell me what's in my own head. That's not how this works. You need to prove that shit. Like how I can say that your head is empty as evidenced by all your videos and just how vacuous they are. But yeah, no, even if what you believed was true, it would be completely insane of me to pretend that God doesn't exist when we all know your God is a massive petty jackass. And I mean literally insane. And if God made me that mentally incompetent and then punishes me for it, well, again, jackass.
I want to share with you the 3 proofs that atheism is a lie.
Wow, cool, proofs and everything. Well, at least you are trying not to be completely stupid. Let's see what these proofs are. Fingers crossed they aren't just as ridiculous as your explanation of what an atheist is and why they don't do the believe. AKA, they do, but God makes them sad.
I think the first proof is that God made us believe in him.
Really? Oh, my non-existo, that's worse than I expected, and a point completely demolished by the fact that A, there are plenty of people who don't believe in God at all, you know, we call them atheists, and B, there are plenty of people who don't believe in your God, you know, the one that you think you can prove. Of course, by Tom's super smart brainiac logic for smart people, we of course do actually believe in God. So, you know, you believe in God because God made you believe in him because he's so real. Nothing circular as fuck about that. And I guess the people who worship other differenter gods are just doing it as a prank, bro. Makes sense? Not believing in Yahweh is hilarious.
Ecclesiastes says that God put it into our hearts to believe in eternity.
I mean, forgetting the fact that the book that wants you to believe that it is the true thing that is true will tell you that it is true, That's, again, not exactly convincing, buddy. If all you have is that the book says that we are made to believe in eternity, well, that's not even strictly God's, is it? It's just the concept of forever, and you know that the concept of forever isn't even exclusive to the Bible, right? It's an idea that has been around, funnily enough, basically forever in human terms, when it comes to people thinking about the world and where it came from. So to claim that God or Bible or anything from Christendom did that, well, you remember how God hates liars? He also hates thieves too. 2 for 2 on that shit that pisses him off. Oof.
We're the only creatures on the planet that believe that God exists and that we're going to live after death.
Okay, first off, that's a complete assumption based on literally nothing. We actually don't know what creatures think about shit like that, and we probably never will. I mean, does it seem likely? No. But to claim that you know for sure, well, that's kinda the religious stick. And also leads into one of my favorite sayings about animals and gods. It goes, if horses had gods, their gods would be horses. It's one of the reasons that your God is so obviously made up. Because, humans are basically God too, because we invented him. Wait, I mean he invented us. Oh, shit, I forgot how that goes, damn it. And secondly, if humans are the only creatures that believe in God, I mean, not to argument ad populum, but that puts them very much on the back foot. Everyone else doesn't believe this stupid shit we made up. Well, that must make us extra right, somehow. Sure.
None of the animal creation believes that. In fact, we're here at a zoo, and it's fun to see the zoo. It's fun to see the animals. We love the animals.
Oh, right, you're in the zoo. Here I was thinking he wasn't working today, but obviously he's there as one of the exhibits. Come one, come all, and see the man with no brain. Be amazed as he makes face noises that make no sense. Be in awe as he stands upright while not possessing a fundamental part of his nervous system. Scream in terror as he escapes and tries to actually talk to you. I'll be honest, I don't see it catching on personally. Not unless we get him into one of the gorilla cages for a debate. But of course no one wants to watch someone get so thoroughly eviscerated and then, thoroughly eviscerated.
But in the end, we as human beings are the only ones that believe in God. And why?
Because you're fucking idiots? Nah, that's not fair. Some of you don't, so being idiots is just a side thing. I'm sure yours is gonna say, 'cause God, but it's far more likely, rather than supernatural random nonsense, it's because humans evolved in a world that led them to having a specific way of thinking that made them so successful it gave them time to actually pursue that thought for more than just a means to an end, aka survival, but to think for its own sake. And in some regards, that led them to come up with some really silly shit that can't be proven, but also led them to smart shit that helps them understand the world even further. But you know that humans aren't the only species that could be capable of that, right? It's not some divine gift. It's a fluke of natural selection that could happen to anything, because humans are just animals. Except, fucking idiots.
Because God made us believe. And as much as atheists try to shake off the belief of God,
every time you tell me what I think and feel and what I'm trying to do, the more you prove that you have literally no fucking idea what I or people like me, well, any of those things. Not trying to shake it off. I just don't believe. Don't wish he wasn't real. Just don't believe. Not trying to get away with something that I literally wouldn't be able to get away with anyway, especially if I fucking thought it was real. I just don't think he's real. Seriously, try it. Try to actually have any of that God-given, according to you, empathy, and don't assume you know what I think and actually believe me. And then try feeling what it's like to not believe in God. It's good, isn't it? No more nonsense. No more having to square obvious falsehoods with reality. No more pretending you're better than everyone else. You can just wallow in the shit with the rest of us. Isn't it grand?
they still have to contemplate that God exists.
Literally don't, because I literally don't. I mean, I have contemplated the existence of some form of deity, including at least a version of yours. I say version because there's just so damn many. To say I believe in the same God as you within Christianity is almost fucking meaningless. But yeah, I contemplated them, came to the conclusion that it doesn't seem like a real guy to me. And then I get on with my shit. Not that hard. I certainly don't contemplate your God or any God as a fact though, because I just don't think any of them are. In fact, the opposite. I think they are not real.
So the first proof that atheism is a lie is God put it in our hearts to believe in God.
You can't just do that. You can't use that as a proof of anything aside from, again, that the existence of people who do not believe just shits all over it. It's also just bad logicking too. It's defining something as true because it's true. And that's not how this shit works. Things have to be true because of things that are outside of them, showing them to be true. But Bible say God real cause hearts and shit, and that's a fact because the Bible said it was a fact, is nothing. It's meaningless, and it's also obviously false on the face of it.
Second thing, common sense.
Oh, fuck me. Really, Tom? Common sense. So let me guess. Common sense is whatever you believe is true, and not common sense is what other people believe is true. Never underestimate the arrogance of a religious smarty pants and his certainty, or the hypocrisy of it, as they will so very often call us arrogant because we don't agree with everything they say, and also don't believe that we are literally the most important people in the universe. You know, those classic narcissistic traits.
So we know that nothing can create something.
I mean, that's your argument. God made the universe out of nothing, and since he doesn't exist. But I imagine that's not what you actually meant. You meant that something cannot be created by nothing. Shame that you are such a bad speaker. How you got yourself a congregation to chat shit to completely baffles me, considering how bad you are at it.
We know everything comes from something else. So if we go back to the very beginning of the universe, what made it?
Me. I was just trying to see how much whiskey I could fit inside of one singularity, and eventually it was too much and it just started pouring out, spreading into the universe. But it was so fast and I was so drunk that there was nothing I could do to stop it. And eventually everything happened, made out of my whiskey. What do you think I mean when I say all the whiskey belongs to me? It's all the everything is mine.
You can't have it just magically appear. You have to have a divine being that is greater than the universe making it.
Why did you say the same thing twice? Except for some reason it was okay with the second one. It's like, my dad's magic could beat up your dad's magic. And that's not even what atheists believe. Atheists don't have a faith-based origin story. Science has its best explanations based on the facts that still has a bunch of unknowns, but not all atheists even believe those things. But you can't have it come from magic. You can just have it magicked into existence. Do you even hear yourself? Fuck me.
And this is why we believe in God, because it's common sense.
It's common sense that invisible, undetectable storybook villains must have created the everything. I mean, I don't even believe in common sense as people tend to portray it, but even if I did, I'm pretty sure that's like the opposite of common sense. I'd say it was like uncommon nonsense. Thank you, I work hard on my very clever writing.
Only God, the unseen, uncreated God, can make that which is created.
If you say so, but it sounds like made up garbage to me. In fact, it sounds so much like that I don't think I believe it, or the God that goes with it. I should come up with a word for that.
And then finally, the third reason that atheism is a lie is God made a universe that's moral.
What? God made a universe that's moral? The fuck are you talking about? That's some top tier gibberish right there. Like, most people would associate morality with suffering, and if you're saying the universe is moral, the universe literally gives zero shits about people suffering, and frankly it causes most of it just by being the way it is, and the rest of it doesn't even let stuff exist. So that's a toss up which way you want to take that. But even with whatever moral framework you subscribe to say that the universe as a whole is just fucking asinine. Christ.
C.S. Lewis, who was an atheist, came to believe in God for one reason.
Yeah, because he's a fucking idiot who said stupid shit about both atheism and God. I wouldn't quote him for shit. I wouldn't quote him for shit when it comes to philosophical crap. Thanks.
He thought about the fact that the universe is a moral creation. That is, we know there's right and wrong, good and evil.
See, that you used the word fact shows that he doesn't know what he's talking about. If you think morality is a fact of the universe, you really haven't thought about it all that hard. And goddamn, even you, this whole morality argument that is just so bad keeps on doing the rounds. You guys just won't stop humping your new toy, will you? And it does even less for your points than some of the other shit you say. God damn.
Where did this concept of good and evil come from
Humans, the concept, the ideas of good and evil and how they quote unquote function were literally invented by humans. Now that's not to say that animals don't do things we would understand as moral actions, but the conceptualized version, 100% a human idea.
Except a God who is good, and the free will that recognizes the opposite of good, which is evil.
Speaking of made up things, both God and free will, or libertarian free will, as you would likely believe it. Except I don't think that's a real thing. I think it's a clever trick of the machinery of a human brain. One so complex that it might as well be the same thing, but is still a function of natural processes and must necessarily be a slave to them ultimately. There's just so much that I don't agree with you on. It's almost like you don't know what other people think. Perhaps next time, instead of telling other people what they think, feel, and believe, you should fucking ask them. What a novel idea.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the